2, 1. Happy New Year. Welcome.
Happy New Year.
Yes.
Happy Goon Year.
Happy Goon Year. Welcome to bringing video games into reality. My name is Matt Dunford, and you probably see me around every con. You probably see me as the dork dressed up as Weird Al. I go to conventions. I run San Diego Comic Fest. But today we're going to be talking about...
Next slide.
Yeah, I have an intro slide for you.
Oh, the intro slide? Yeah, let's go to it. Anyway, we're going to talk about bringing reality, gaming into reality. We're going to talk about the things that cross the streams, bring things in, and how us geeks bring gaming into our lives. All right, oops, sorry. Anyway, my name is Matt Dunford. You know, I am the chairman of San Diego Comic Fest. Sorry, this stupid thing is going on. And it's like, oh, there's always and I can just go back on things. My name is Matt Dunford. I do this wonderful little convention called San Diego Comic Fest. I'm your moderator here. I have worked in video games at the company Crytevo. I mainly do a lot of comics. I worked at Semantic Publishing, and I run the local event, San Diego Comic Fest. I also currently serve at Upper Deck Entertainment, where I run the Marvel Comic Trading Card line. So if you bought the exclusive pack that I worked on for all this time, thank you so much. It's a wonderful setup here. And also, I love video games and I love dorky stuff because bringing all this stuff into life is just what I do. And I may not do as much video games in my time as I did when I was young, but I still have the great appreciation for those who do like to bring their passion for video games into life.
Before we get to the next slide, you worked at Crytevo for a bit. Can you just briefly say something about that?
Okay, yes, I did work at the video game company Crytevo, which is located here in San Diego. It is based on where we did some video games such as the award-winning Universim, which is sort of like it's a mesh between SimCity and SimWorld and Spore, which it's a lot of those reality simulator games on things. And I did like working in, but mainly my passion relies on comics. And so, with further ado, I would like to introduce some of our other further gamers. Maxwell, that guy with a Game Boy camera, shell. Yes! Yes!
Hi there, everyone. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Hey, let's get right to it. You know, some time ago, I dug out my Game Boy camera, and I just go around to events, starting with a Wasteland weekend, and just take photos of people. Why not? Take photos, print out them out on a Game Boy printer. I get a selfie with you all. Just this side here.
Now we're going to get insta-famous after this is uploaded to Super Nintendo and onto the computer. It's like a 19-step process.
Yes, there's actually...
Worth it.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, how many... Yeah, I'm in a Discord group, and we talk about making the images clearer, and there are now digital means to get this, pictures off your Game Boy camera and onto your computer. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about just this passion project I did. Next slide. I call it Lost New, a Fallout Snow Globe road trip. Sometime in late 2017, thought it would be cool to make these snow globes that are found in the game Fallout New Vegas. You know how in video games you just go around collecting things, pick stuff up? Sometimes they're essential to completing the game, other times it just gives you an incentive to explore the game more. And in fact, there's a movie about it called Ready Player One, where the key to winning is to find the developers' names, in some Atari game. Okay, but...
Isn't that the end credits slide?
Anyway, so then I had these snow globes around. I thought, these places in Fallout New Vegas are based on real-life places. I've lived in Las Vegas for nearly 20 years, so I know all these, I can go to all these places. And figured, okay, take these 11 snow globes, leave them in the real-life locations. Then, take photos, put it on the internet, see what happens. I know, the posts I made about it, they were pretty popular on the Fallout subreddit, and got people talking, for a few days, and I even sent some friends who I know go to Wasteland, and they had a good time when I told them about it, just looking for a snow globe. And I figured, what if I did it all again, recorded everything, and just turned it into a documentary? So that's the idea behind Lost New, a Fallout Snow Globe road trip. In fact, before I actually played the abridged version for most of you got here, so it's free to watch on YouTube. So it's not just leaving behind snow globes. It's basically, in 2020, I'm comparing the 10-year-old Fallout New Vegas to the current Las Vegas So, and I use these, transitions, so it's like, I want to make it's like this movie where you see the real Las Vegas while the game is being played. And for whatever reason, I recorded all the footage. I just pointed my smartphone here at a black and white TV. So this was my movie, my passion project. The Fallout New Vegas does draw more from history than anyone realizes. I actually spoke with Professor David Schwartz, and he says that, who's a history professor at UNLV, and apparently in Las Vegas's early days, all these interest groups are, trying to have their stake in Vegas. So
They're called mafia.
so yeah, mafia, miners,
Then the corporation.
They became adults later.
businesses, no different than Mr. House, the Caesars Legion, the NCR, and who knows? In Fallout New Vegas, yeah, you can be the mafia.
Wonderful desolation full of scum and villainy.
Yes.
Let's take a weekend trip.
Okay, but anyway, to me, snow globes are probably some of the best collectibles in video games because they're based on real places and it represents the game and features its, mascot, Vault Boy. Okay, anything else? Yeah, so I was wondering, Twice, what if there really were these snow globes in the real Las Vegas? How far could one get? Next slide. All right, so before going on the road trip, just making a simple snow globe. Thank you. So yeah, there are snow globe kits. You can type it into Google. That's how you do shopping these days. Or you can just run to Target and get these $20 snow globe kits for kids that come with 3 snow globes. All right, and keep in mind there are 11 snow globes in the game, but I can get creative, use 3D printing, and make more.
And always remember before you
All right.
drop off your snow globe to say
you
Rose.
just,
Doesn't
An
count.
example of
Yeah,
snow globes
so-
in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Next slide, please.
Okay, so this is an example of a snow globe in Las Vegas compared to the real game. On the left is the Lucky 38, or in real life, the Stratosphere, the top of the world lounge. All right, so in the game, you get behind the cash register to get the snow globe, and then get 2,000 caps from Mr. House. But in real life, all I could do was just put it on the counter, and then I leave a note with sunset sarsaparilla stars. Yeah, by the way, you know what I find funny about Fallout New Vegas? So this rich Howard Hughes type guy named Mr. House will give you 2,000 caps for the snow globe, but he'll give you maybe up to 1,000 caps for the platinum chip, which is which you, from what I understood, traveled all the way from Sunnyvale, California, all the way to Las Vegas. So you could get paid more for collecting snow globes than this valuable chip, that you're risking your life for. Okay, next slide. So yes, the documentary experience. Of course, mine was a guerrilla documentary. It's definitely different than conventional documentaries, interviews and can't think of anything else. Definitely different than what Vice does for Dark Side of the Ring. All right, so I definitely had to plan ahead. Like, where am I going to go first? What's going to be first? Usually the Stratosphere. What's going to be last? Good Springs, and in this case, Cabazon on the way out. Now, I couldn't do what I wanted in last year of April, which is when I wanted to do it at first, because that was when COVID was really going into effect. I mean, and that's when we're seeing all these videos of Las Vegas looking empty, which is pretty scary. I've worked in a casino, and I'm told that if there was an attack on a casino, the strip gets shut down. That's what Las Vegas looked like after COVID, but eventually things were getting back up and running, and I did it in late September, and I was there in Las Vegas for 5 days, hiding snow globes and getting the footage I needed. So I think I benefited since I planned more. I also did not want to do it in the summer since Vegas summer is just grueling. Okay.
Any snow globes there?
Hold on. So one thing to keep in mind for documentaries, of course, people are going to notice that I'm wearing a vault suit, and I like to get those reactions. Sometimes they notice my Pip-Boy here, so I don't record their faces, just the Pip-Boy and what they're saying about it. But if their face is on camera, well, I gotta ask, hey, you wanna be in this documentary? If they have a problem, don't feature them. If not, okay, you have their consent. But of course, it does help to bring written permission. So keep that in mind. You don't want to make anyone look bad. You don't want people to come after you for doing something you think is harmless. Okay, so I got asked, so a reporter from Vice did ask me about it, and one of the questions I got, are there any snow globes that haven't been found? Or I'm going to say, what snow globes were found? Okay, so the test site snow globe in the stratosphere. I don't know, could have been thrown away. One of the employees may have taken it. I do leave notes on these, just to see if anyone hits me up. So I don't know what happened to the test site.
Do they say don't steal from me? I put those on my piggy bank all the time.
Okay, all right, I'll try and make this quick. Okay, the strip, keep that there. So the strip at the Oasis, that was actually thrown away by a hotel employee. Nellis, don't know. Sierra Madre at the South Point, don't know. I know some friends of mine found the first one. Keep in mind this was my second time doing it. Zion, don't know. Mount Charleston, it was taken by someone there, and she says she's related to someone who worked on New Vegas. I don't know if her husband knew about it. Okay, Hoover Dam, don't know. Lonesome Road in Amargosa Valley. My parents actually went back there since they're members of a foundation that supports an opera house in the desert, believe it or not. They actually brought it back for me. So good to you, Mom and Dad. Okay, Mormon Fort, don't know. But one of the things, so yes, there was someone who does follow me and who went looking for snow globes. Sam on the cam, she tried, but I think she went after maybe 3 of them, but was unsuccessful. So yeah, she would tell me what happened to the snow globes. Yeah, it was taken, but don't know who took it. Good Springs, don't know. Thank you, Sam, on the cam again. Big MT. For the second time, I took my own snow globe, which I showed earlier. But yeah, I took my own. 2 months after hiding the snow globes, in December, I took my own snow globe again. It looks like this. And the Cabazon, special one for Cabazon, again, I don't know. So, what's it like to experience these locations in the real world after knowing them so well in the game? Well, it makes me feel close to the game. It makes me want to put on the costume, go around, maybe get people to notice me, get people to react to the Vault Boy, who's really in Las Vegas. All right, anything else? I also do a thing where I hide bobbleheads in different cities. So like that's done in Fallout 3, 76, and Fallout 4. But it'll be a while before I go to the East Coast, so I'm going to the nearest cities I could. I've done it in San Diego, Los Angeles, and a Wasteland Weekend twice there. Years ago, I did it with Papercraft, and these days I do bobbleheads with 3D printing. So one of the things that Lawrence was saying to me that maybe I am part of the Fallout lore, and I'm the reason why these snow globes are there to begin with, and maybe in 2081, someone's gonna go find the snow globes again.
Maybe you took them in the first place, right?
Right.
Fallout Game Boy Camera Edition.
Exactly.
Okay, so again, Matthew Galt from Vice asked me this. Do you think you'll make this trip to place the snow globes again? You know what? I think there's more material I can do with this subject I'm doing. New Vegas, snow globes, the Fallout fandom. I think, I'm planning a sequel. I'm going to do the trip again next year during the, when Nellis does an air show, so I can walk on Nellis legally.
And you're also interested in having some actors
yes,
who've been involved with the series.
Yes, I've been trying to get a hold of Danny Trejo, but his agent says he's always busy.
Let's go to the donut shop and get him. He's always there.
Oh yeah, I've been there. I've been to the donut shop, but they tell me he's making a movie in Wyoming.
He'll be back.
Okay, but thankfully Los Angeles Comic-Con's coming up, so so actors like Zachary Levi were in the game. He played Arcade Gannon. So yeah, I'll see what I can do about getting some of the actors involved. But yeah. Sometimes you can go up to them at conventions. Other times, you be formal and contact their agent. Next slide. So yeah, this is something, another project of mine. Bobblegeddon. So I 3D print these these bobbleheads here, and I leave them around landmarks and cities. So I'm like, okay, what can I associate with speech here? An obvious one is City Hall. The Luck bobblehead, that would be a casino, or in Los Angeles' case, the Santa Monica Boardwalk. Don't want to get in. Okay, so for 3D printing, you need a 3D printer. I recommend a CR10, Crowley CR10. There's a lot of 3D printers you can buy, but CR10 I recommend. And you find these files you put into your 3D printer on Thingiverse or My Mini Factory. Or yeah, if you want to make them yourselves, that's its own school. It's called CAD. Or if you want to start making 3D objects, go on Tinkercad. So yeah, I've done 3 locations so far, and my Bobblegeddon story was featured on Gaming Bible. So if you do something interesting like that, you can get featured on one of these blogs that millions of people read. So, what are the ways to make a Vault Boy? Well, you can buy a licensed one. They're selling them downstairs. 3D printing and painting, use acrylic paint. Or you can also look at these papercraft templates. Hopefully they're still around. Papercraft is a dying art form. Or you can use Play-Doh or needle felting. What else do I have there?
Those are perler beads.
Parlor beads, yeah. You can find these perler bead templates and make it look like a 8-bit retro character. Yeah, there's a lot of templates out there just by Googling them. Now, I feel like I'm not the first one to do this. I'm the first one to do this with the Fallout props, but I could give a shout out to Invader. So Invader's an artist. I forget his real name. He's a street artist who would hide these invaders based on Space Invader. He'd put them around cities, like he'd glue them to buildings. This invader here is the last one you can find. It's on 7th Avenue on the Salvation Army. Yeah, so he's done this maybe hundreds, thousands of times, putting in these invaders in cities. So yeah, hold on, let's see. Yeah, he was featured in a documentary called Exit to the Gift Shop, along with Banksy and Mr. Brainmind? I forget his name. So yeah, so he's still active. He still has trouble entering other countries. And getting away with street art, it can be difficult. And he's actually, it can be, since he's gluing his Space Invader art, it's considered vandalism. Unlike what I'm doing here, it's, littering.
Vandalism
Or the
is
worst
just
is
haters'
trespass.
words for decoration.
All right. Okay, next slide. So yeah, why Space Invaders? From his website he says, bring the Space Invaders from video games and TV screens, bring them to our physical world. So when he puts Space Invaders around the world, he's increasing his high score. He says they're the perfect icon of our time, a time where digital technologies are the heartbeat of our world. All right, well, I think Vault Boy is another icon of our time. He represents, corporate mascots. Yeah.
And here's an example of you actually taking his art and then turning into yet another digital form with the Game Boy camera.
Okay,
which you're
so
also printing out.
all right, so there's a place called the Art Center. I think it's an architecture school. It's on you can see it on Park Avenue. This was a Space Invader that was painted on there in 2010, but the building got renovated, so it's not there anymore. So I decided to take a photo with my Game Boy camera and just then I used the paint tool to paint it over. So that's my way of putting it there. All right.
Real-life digital vandalism.
Okay, you know what? I like to say be responsible. Maybe I think it could backfire. And then let's remember the Boston Mooney Night panic.
Yeah, we all remember that back in '07.
So yeah, these artists were hired to promote Aqua Teen Hunger Force, the movie. And they put these LED Moonanite fixtures in the subway. But, they light up, they have batteries attached. That's kind of similar to an IED, and it shut down Boston for the day.
That
All
was
right.
the best
Yeah,
idea.
there's a
isn't
little
it?
fun fact about that as well. Ultimately, the president of Adult Swim had to step down from that. And then following that, they instilled a new president of Cartoon Network that said, I did some polling, and it turns out kids like live-action TV as well. So you can blame that little dip in Cartoon Network's quality on that guy. Fortunately, he is no longer with Cartoon Network, and things are back. But you can ultimately say that bombing in that dip of where Cartoon Network, Bam. That is that point you can trace it to. The Mooninites.
All right.
And all-
All right, Matt Dunford, Bastion of Information. So yeah, so I say, you know, it can be. So yeah,
No,
help me
we can
bring.
move on to other bastions of information.
Okay.
Our good friend, Gabe Valentin. You might know him from the band Digital Lizards of Doom. And did you know that he also has a comic that's he's got the Digital Lizards of Doom comic that is out from Clover Press, which is here local in San Diego. So, Gabe, why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
How's it going, everybody? Thank you. My name is Gabe, and basically just somebody who really doesn't want to grow up and really likes video games, comics, storytelling, and art and music, and